I am Mr. Skinner. I am not your friend or your buddy. I am You're going to work bell to bell in here every single day. There will be no free days. You don't leave here to go anywhere else. You don't ask to go anywhere else. All we do is math. No phones until the last 5 minutes. You will see a sign that lets you know when. No texting ever. If your phone is out in this class, I take it. It never touches your desk, your hand, your lap. No texting anybody. At the last 5 minutes, you can get it out and photograph the homework assignment. If you choose to use your phone, then you choose to lose your phone, except for the last 5 minutes. There are no exceptions for anyone. I don't care if you have a wonderful boyfriend or girlfriend that you can't do without for 45 minutes. Get over it. 20 years from now, you won't remember who they were anyway. Assigned seats. Everybody is in their assigned seat at this time. You must bring your own paper and pencils. I will not give you a notebook, paper, and pencils. If you show up with nothing, you borrow it from someone else. If they won't give it to you, you miss the whole day. It's as simple as that. When you enter the room, you have to stop here to get some paper. The tub is there in the back of the room. You will use these to write your answers and deliver them to my desk. There are no textbooks in this class. They're of no use to me or you. You have to flip through them and scatter all around. This year there are new standards, completely new, all across the board, so they would be of no use. Everybody must keep all notes in a 3-ring binder. It must include work from homework practice problems, tests, quizzes, after-test assignments. It is worth 1,000 points and is checked once every 9 weeks. Tests are 1,000 points. You only get one time to take them. So if you need help, you come to 6th period. If you choose not to get any help or watch the videos as many times as you want, including today's, then that is your own choice. If you miss a test or a quiz because you are absent, then you will take it during 6th period. You must give a 1-day notice when you are ready to take it, and you can only take 1 per day. Some have to take like 7 because they rarely come to school and they miss a lot of work. I am not interested in your personal conversations. Don't have them in here. Don't ask me any questions other than math. It is time to begin. Here's the warm-up quiz. All you have to do is answer the problem, write it down on one of those little pieces of paper, and for the start, you have to put your last name on it too. You can show the work on your notebook paper and keep that in your notebook. All I need is the answer and your last name. When you come up here to show it to me, you're all going to go to the front. Whenever you're ready to come up, you come up. But go to the front, come through here, show me what you have. I'll say no if it's wrong, and then I'll say your last name if you have it right. And then you go on through there. Trash cans are on this side and on that side. If your paper has both sides used up, you can throw it away after that point. Here's warm-up number 1. Show me the answer, and don't forget to put your last name on it so I can learn it. Here is the solution. You have to do 9 times 2 first. Multiplication comes before addition and subtraction. So it's 9 times 2 is 18. Then add the 3 to come up with 21. When you bring your answers up here, don't write your answers like this. If I have to squint to see it, it's not going to count. You have to write your answers largely there. You must do division before addition and subtraction. Multiplication and addition come before division and subtraction. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 18 minus 5 is 13. You must do division before addition. So you have 15 divided by 3, which is 5, and 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Answer is 9 when you add them together. On this problem, you have to do 6 divided by 2 first, which is 3. And then 5 times 2 is 10. So now you have 12 plus 3 minus 10. When you have nothing but addition and subtraction, you do those in order left to right. So that would be 12 plus 3 is 15 minus 10 is going to be 5. Two times 3. Multiplication comes before subtraction and addition, so that's 6. Now you have 11 minus 6 plus 4. 11 minus 6 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. A lottery. All you have to do is write your last name on the piece of paper and pick a number from 1 to 5. Drop it off up here on my table. The winning number today is 4. Today's objective, Algebra 1, NQ1. Use units as a way to understand problems and to guide the solution of multi-step problems. Choose and interpret units consistently in formulas. Choose and interpret the scale and the origin in graphs and data displays. If you ever want to write these down or look at them again, they will be on the video. Knowledge targets. You should be able to calculate unit conversions, recognize units given or needed to solve a problem. Here's a reminder. 12 inches are in 1 foot. 3 feet equals a yard, and 36 inches equals 1 yard. Here's an example. In this practice problem, or example, John has 5 boards that are 36 inches long. Sally has 7 boards that are 20 inches long. And Greg has 6 boards that are 15 inches long. If all of the boards are placed end to end, then what is the total length of the boards? So you have to go back and look at what you're given. John has 5 that are 36 inches long each. What should I do with 5 and 36? If I lay John's board side by side, what would they amount to? Yeah. Yes, you have to multiply them together. So you're going to have 36 times 5. And then go to the next one. Sally has 7 boards that are 20 inches long. To find out the total length of the boards that Sally has, you have to multiply 20 by 7. And then you go to Greg. Greg has 6 that are 15 inches long. So you would multiply 15 by 6. That'll give you the total length of all the boards for each individual person. So in the first one, you have 36 times 5. Multiply these out. 36 times 5 is 180. And 20 times 7 is 140. 15 times 6 is 90. Now I have, for John, Sally, and Greg, I have all of their boards all set up. Now that I know the length of all of them, what should I do to find the length of all the boards laid end to end? Yes. Yes, you have to add them all together. So 180, 140, and 90. 180, 140, and 90. 180 and 140 is going to be 320, plus 90 is 410 inches. But if I'm going to express the total length, is inches the right thing to use? How many people use 410 inches for a length? Remember what we did before, the opening screen. How many inches are in a foot? 12. How many feet are in a yard? 3. You just have to say it. You don't have to raise your hand. And then how many inches are in a yard? 36. So what we can do is we can convert inches to feet to start with. So what you would do on your calculator is divide 410 by 12. 410 divided by 12. Does that come out evenly, or is it a decimal? Yes. It's a decimal, but we know we have 34 in there. 34 feet. So what you're going to do is multiply 34 by 12 and come up with how many inches? What's 34 times 12? 34 times 12 is what? It's 408. So remember, we had 410 inches. 34 feet takes care of 408 inches. How many inches are left over? 2. There's just 2 inches. So 34 feet and 2 inches. So that's what we have so far. Can we get any yards out of 34 feet and 2 inches? Is there at least 3 feet in 34 feet? Yes, so we can go over here to the next page. 34 feet and 2 inches. If I wanted to get yards out of those 34 feet, what would I divide 34 by? You can just say it. 3, yes. So how many times will 3 go into 34 without going over? How many? Yes, so we would have 11 yards. Now, what is 11 times 3? 33. So how many feet are left over? 1. So we have 11 yards, 1 foot, and 2 inches. This will be your final answer for that problem. Here's example number 2. Luke has 7 boards that are 40 inches long. George has 9 boards that are 25 inches long, and Janet has 11 boards that are 8 inches long. If all of them are placed end to end, then what is the total length of the boards? What should I do first? Somebody just tell me. You don't have to wait for me to call on you. You have to do what? Yeah, you have to multiply 7 times 40. So this is Luke, and we do 7 times 40 for Luke. And then we go to George, 9 boards, 25 inches each. So 25 times 9. And then we go to Janet, 11 boards that are 8 inches long. So go through and multiply each of those out. 40 times 7 is 280. 9 times 25 is 225. And 11 times 8 is 88. So we must add all of these together to come up with a sum. The sum of all of those is 593. So that's 593 inches, but that's kind of hard to understand. So we can break it up into yards, feet, and inches. First, before we get to yards, we have to convert inches to what? Feet. Yeah, so what do I divide 593 by to convert it into feet? 12, yes. So divide 593 by 12. Does it come out evenly, or is there a decimal? It's a decimal, yes, but we do have 49. So we have 49 feet that come out of it, but there's some inches left over. Multiply that 49 by 12. 49 times 12 gives me 588. So what's the difference between 593 and 588 when you subtract? Yeah. 5 inches, yes. We have 49 feet, 5 inches. Now 49 feet, that's somewhat easier to understand, but we can still convert that into yards. How do I convert 49 feet into yards? Divide it by 3, yes. So divide 49 by 3. Does it come out evenly, or is there a decimal? It's a decimal, yeah, but we do have 16 yards that come out. So let's find out how many feet 16 yards will be. 16 times 3 is 48. So what's the difference between 49 and 48? 1. It's just 1 foot. So we have 16 yards, 1 foot, and 5 inches. That is the final answer to the problem. Here's a practice problem. This is worth 10 points. If you finish quick, bring it up and drop it off up here with your answer only, written largely, and your last name on it. Largely, but face it towards me when you drop it off. As soon as we get a couple of people with answers turned in, I'm going to put bonus problems on the screen. So everybody else that's finished can keep working, but if you're not done with the practice problem, you have plenty of time to do it. You're not going to be left behind. So the quicker you get finished, the more chance you have for a bonus problem. Anytime I put a practice problem on the screen, make sure you copy down the information that is necessary to work the problem, because this will not stay on the screen. Once I get 2 or 3 answers in, I'm going to start putting out bonus problems. So don't leave it on the screen. In this case, you don't have to write word for word on there. After the example problems, you know what's the vital information. On the practice problem, you have Joyce, who has 6 boards that are 16 inches long each. That means you multiply 16 times 6 to come up with the total length. Then Ben has 12 boards that are 30 inches long each, so multiply 30 by 12. And then Janet has 7 boards that are 10 inches each, so 10 times 7. 16 times 6 is going to be 96, 30 times 12 is 360, and 10 times 7 is 70. If you add these all together, 360 and 70 is 430. 430 and 96 is 526. Did anybody have 526 inches as part of their answer to start with? Okay. So you're on the right track if you had that. Then you have to divide this by 12. 526 divided by 12 is 43 point something. So you have 43 feet, but you have a decimal. So multiply 43 by 12 to come up with 516. The difference between 516 and 526 is 10. So you have 10 inches left over. Now to go from 43 feet 10 inches to yards, you need to divide 43 by 3. And that's 14 and a decimal. So it's 14 yards, but we have to multiply that 14 times 3 to figure out how many feet are left over. 14 times 3 is 42, so the difference between 42 and 43 is 1. So that's 1 foot left over, and don't forget you had the inches, 10 inches. Alright, if you had 14 yards, 1 foot and 10 inches, come up here to the table and show me, and then I'll put down your points. The answer comes out to be 9 for the bonus. Yes. If you make it out of your desk before I say the answer, then I can still count it. Here's another bonus problem. The answer for this bonus is 5. We still have 1 out, so we're going to put another bonus up. The answer to that problem should be 14. Here's another bonus problem. Answer to this bonus problem should be 11. Before we go, Miranda has 7 boards that are 13 inches. What do I do with those 2 numbers? Yes. Multiply. Cody has 14 boards that are 26 inches each. What do I do with those numbers? Multiply. Hannah has 15 that are 22 inches long. What do I do? Now, once I've multiplied all those out, what do I do with the numbers? Add them together. Once I've added them together, what do I do with it?
Make it into feet.
Make it into feet, which means I divide by what? 12, yes. What if it comes out to be a decimal?
Times the number times 4.
Yeah, let's say if I came out with 12 point something, I have to multiply this, and that's a bad example because that is 12. Let's say I came out with 17 point something. I'd have to multiply that 17 by 12 and then find the difference between that and the inches I had. to find out how many inches are left over. To convert feet to yards, what do I divide by? I divide by 3, yes. And you use the same process to find out how many feet are left over as you did for this, except instead of multiplying by 12, I multiply by what? 3, yes. Homework is graded based on effort. You cannot fail homework. All you have to do is write the problem number, the problem, and show all necessary work to get the answer that you arrived at. If you do that, you get 50 points. If you don't, you get no points. It's either you get it or you don't. For example, if I give you a problem to work out, it's problem number 1. Here's the problem, so you write it. Here's all of the necessary steps you need to do to get the answer. And then you put a box around your answer. If you do that for all 10 of them, then you get your points. We will check the answers for right and wrong and give extra credit for right answers after we go through the homework check. But if this is the problem number and that's the problem and you show this amount of work when in fact this is the amount of work that was needed to solve the problem, you don't get any credit for it. Each year I have people that bring this up to me, this, when it should have been this, and they'll stand there until they think I'm going to give them points for it. You can stand here until 8 p.m. tonight. You're not going to get any points if you do this when it should have been this. All necessary steps means you do not skip any steps whatsoever. Again, write the problem, write the number, show all the work. You either get 50 points or you don't. Now here's tonight's homework. You have 3 options. One, actually it's 4. I hope nobody chooses the first one. One is you write it all down right now. That would be too rough. The next option is you can get your phone out now and go up to the screen and take a picture of it so that you can zoom in on it and look at it later. Option number 3 is going to be to go to the website later on and zoom it in from there and write it down. By 2 o'clock today, that'll be on my website. So if you want to go take a picture now, you can.